every day. The straw for this is always overrated.
There we go. Thank you for moving that. Thank you for taking care of me, Joe.
Hey, it's what you pay in the big bucks.
That's right. Absolutely. It is the show before the show on our 200th episode. We're going to be celebrating it.
We'll
tomorrow.
celebrate tomorrow.
Yeah, we're celebrating tomorrow, but it's 200.
We had too busy and late of a night to do that.
Yes, we did.
We were here taping late last night. We'll talk more about it. Tomorrow we'll start off the show.
Yes.
With an insider expert on Maui.
Yeah,
he has connections to the island.
Wouldn't tease it too much. Something might happen to that show, like our Antarctica show.
Right. Hope it doesn't go down. Good morning, everyone popping on.
200 tomorrow. I'm so damn busy. It's just, I could probably do 300 shows and be like, huh? What?
Huh? What? Well, there's so much stuff
already?
going on in our own personal lives. And I'm still in shock from, we did all the stuff here last night and then had to watch Tucker. But you know what? I was doing it completely impaired because I came back from the land of the Masters. And oh my gosh.
What do you mean the land of the Masters?
Well, I was at a volleyball game and at the game, all the other
hold on.
Hold on with that.
Hold on.
Okay. I'll hold on.
Everybody in.
Okay. I'll hold on for that one.
Story.
Oh yeah.
I mean, crap, are we packed? I mean,
yeah, we are.
Oh, let me catch back up over here. I was reading ahead. Good morning to you, Sophie and Jeannie and Sasha and Trisha, Sasha, Ben Khan. It's also dun 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 dun. I was pissed off at the NFL. Oh, but I sent you a picture, Joe. I think I sent a picture 2 days ago. Ben says, who's going to win tonight? Chiefs or Lions? We're in Chiefs Nation country where we broadcast live out of it. We have a lot of listeners in Michigan as well. I like the Chiefs. They're my third team. The Lions are my first team.
That's because you're not a real Missourian.
Oh, yeah. I'm so Missouri. My first football games were at the St. Louis Football Cardinals.
Yes, very true.
In 1981. 82 was my first St. Louis Football Cardinal game. Love the Cardinals.
Yes.
I love the Rams.
Me too.
We got jobbed.
Yeah, we did. My family had PSLs, and so we were there for a lot of the playoff games. And so, man, when they went back to LA, we were not happy.
We're all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today. All three of us slept well.
We did. We had good night's sleeps. We all did.
I slept through an alarm for the first time since I was in high school.
Good for you. Good for you.
I slept good.
With the fact that all three of us slept well last night, people better watch out this morning listening to us.
Boycott BLM.
BLMF?
FL. I thought he was meaning NFL. But here's what they did. Where did I find the picture? Let me send it to you, but the NFL took out end racism. They had this I didn't even realize they had it in the end zones, but they finally took it out. They took it off. Jill says, I still love the Rams. I can't.
I'm with her. They're not my favorite team. I don't like them anymore.
That's a hard sell for me, for a lot of people.
Nothing against the Rams. It's cranky.
Right. It's cronky. It's all cronky.
What the hell? Tom Brady's was hired by Delta as a strategic advisor. It's what? Not as a model, as a strategic advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Man, oh, man.
Let me find him. And our friend Paul Berry posted something online last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 6 cities in Mexico, St. Louis came in as the world's most dangerous city for murder rate in 2023. 6 cities in Mexico and St. Louis. Then that's followed by 4 or 5 cities in Mexico. And that's not a joke.
That's saying a lot, isn't it?
Our buddy Drew is texting me privately right now.
Tell Drew I really love him. I love his.
We miss you, Drew.
We miss you. We miss you, Drew. Actually, I did not have a problem with Drew being on here, but he just can't. He just can't.
Don't worry. He messages me daily.
Well, good. Then you can be with him.
I'm glad he's still listening.
I'm glad he's still listening.
I asked him why he messages me daily. I said, why do you message me daily?
I wonder if one of these, we've got several trolls that come on with no information. I wonder if one of them is him.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Joe, I'm sending you the NFL picture. Okay, buddy?
Jill said, is Drew single asking for a friend?
Yeah, baby.
Could you imagine Jill and Drew in the same room? Woo, that'd be some hot stuff. Mm-hmm.
Lizzie.
What?
This is where we have to have your shot collar.
I know. Sometimes I need it on and I forgot it at home.
We're going to end up talking about balls and all kinds of gross stuff before it's over.
That's right. Could you imagine me with the shot collar? Yeah, it'd be used a lot. So I'm leaving my shot collar at home.
I meant that in full respect.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I have no doubt.
Unhinged.
You know, it'd be really funny is to put one of those like the noise activated shock collars on Eric. So when he
that would be great.
Starts yelling, like it could shock him.
That would be great. Oh, that would make me laugh. I would just love that.
Yeah, Jeannie says she loves the Bills. They have another against my second favorite team now, the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So the Jets and Bills play in the first game this weekend. Gosh, we got Jill, Anthony, good morning to you. Ryan, Bob, good morning. Karen, like, subscribe, share the show, everybody. Love it when you do. It helps make sure that we get out to as many people as we possibly can. Damn. All right. We got so much. I mean, there's so many damn stories today and time to run.
Right.
Who's she saying congratulations to? Ben, I'm going with I think the Lions are going to win tonight. Chiefs don't have their best defensive player from last year. Travis Kelce's hurt. They're a defending champ. I love Patrick Mahomes. I love the Chiefs, but I think the Lions get it done. So I'll give that to you. I just can't wait to dip. I also had two of my friends last night tell me they think I'm in certain terms nuts for thinking that Barack Obama had gay sex.
Mm-hmm.
They don't believe it.
Right.
They don't. They seriously don't. They think I'm a nut job for thinking
I have no doubt a lot of people think we're a nut job. Uh-huh.
It's fine. He's gay. It's fine.
Right.
Go be gay. Be happy. Live your life.
Go do you.
Just be honest. Be you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and start the show. We got so much to get into. I think we're caught up. Thanks, man. Hey guys, welcome into canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Pro Joe. Happy Thursday, episode number 200, believe it or not. I think I can. I think we can.
We know we can.
200 shows, nothing to sneeze at, nothing to just push aside. We're going to try to celebrate a little bit more tomorrow. 200 shows. Boy, has it been a ride. It has been a ride. Canceltheshow.com, part of our new media group. As we continue to grow, you guys all make it. We're grateful for you guys being a part of the show. For those of you who join us live, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. For those who don't, we're on our website all the time, canceltheshow.com. You have your favorite viewing platforms, your favorite listening platforms. And, of course, let us know if you can jump in live. Jump in. If you want to jump in, make a comment. Let us know. Tell us about something, story ideas, information we may have missed. Jump in. We're here for you guys, and that's why we love this creative podcast that we do. Yes, we get into original content, but yes, we still cover news headlines, politics, interviews, cancel culture, education, business, entertainment, you name it, we do it. We're here to have a good time. Jeannie says, I don't believe Tucker's Quest. Anyway.
Guest. She probably meant guest.
Guest. Yeah, that's probably what. And I'll tell you why. We'll get into Tucker in just a second. I'll tell you why I did believe him and why I thought he gets a 9.5 on a scale of 10 in credibility. We'll go Trump-tastic. What's that mean? Trump-tastic. It's a Trump-tastic morning?
Absolutely. It's a fantastic day all about Trump.
Oh, I'm sure we'll see that Merriam's Dictionary next year.
Of course.
Trump-tastic.
Love it. Love it.
Guys, jumping into the show today. Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, says the city's done. This is some of the most phenomenal sound I have ever heard from a mayor. And when I say phenomenal, I mean, wow, blows your mind, not positive, just outrageously. Every eye should be looking at this. Your eyebrows raised, hair staining. He said New York City's done because of immigration. We're going to get into that. Donald Trump says, basically, F all y'all, I'll take the stand. But then he also got into it and he's like, we'll tell you what he said about the trials, what he says is going to happen, what he thinks is going to happen. Every time he has said something, he's been right. And it will blow your mind again, what he said. Of course, we were just talking about this, but Tucker Carlson's interview with Larry Sinclair, was he believable? Was he not believable? The line of the night after Tucker was talking to Larry, and Lizzie already knows where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I know where you're going. Joe knows where you're going too.
Tucker says, so Barack left a bad taste in your mouth. I was like, Tucker.
Yeah.
Tucker.
There was a whole big old quote. Yeah.
David Sparks says no lawsuit for defamation. Proof it's true on Tucker interview. And that's what I said too. A gentleman I was with last night, the very first thing he said was, how could they not sue this guy for saying that? I was like, ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
You've had too much alcohol.
Well,
it's obvious why no suit has, and this is not the first time this man did it. So we'll get into that. And Hunter Biden is going to be indicted on a federal gun charge by the end of the month. David Weiss is an absolute joke in the role that he's in, which is why the DOJ put him there in the first place. We'll get into that situation. So much more. If you guys want to jump in, let us know. Go Chiefs, go Lions, NFL tonight. Like, subscribe, share the show, jump in. If you want to send us stars on Facebook, you can do that as well. Check out our new merchandise. Are the new ponytail hats on the website yet?
Yes, they are.
All right, we'll show you those when we get back to. I know a lot of women have been looking for that, but first we have to show you our sponsors, our advertisers. Back in just a couple minutes. We're ready to rock and roll on this Thursday.
House has the largest selection of solid wood with the hottest new styles. Real furniture that's built to last. Like our solid bedrooms, living rooms, and dining from Kincaid. Our volume enables us to save you a lot of money, especially during our solid wood sale. Plus, get free financing, fast free delivery, and free in-home design. So for solid wood, sweet styles, and solid service since 1964, shop over 3 football fields of furniture at Carroll House, because you like nice things.
Marco! Wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the cars.
Kathy O. Big Strick, owner of Experienced Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com.
Attention, anyone who served, lived, or worked at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Camp Lejeune's drinking water was dangerously toxic, and base personnel and their families have since suffered cancer and other illnesses. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and were diagnosed with cancer, you may be eligible for significant compensation. Call the Driscoll firm now. Consultations are free, and you won't pay a fee unless we get you the money you deserve. 1-800-805-4800.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar, Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, if you don't know, is a family-owned business that has been around since 1994, serving some of the best chicken wings in town, no joke. Also known for their fresh burgers, pizza, and incredible smoked meat. Top-notch happy hour specials are included, plus live music every Friday and Saturday. Oh yeah, you can also enjoy their spacious heated covered patio. It's Winty's in the Chesterfield Valley, 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Vic Faust here, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. It's Thursday, September 7th, our 200th episode here at canceltheshow.com. Appreciate everybody jumping in every day as you guys normally do. I want your perspectives. Give us your take as well when it comes to all the stories that we have. First story we're jumping in right out of the gate was Tucker Carlson's interview last night regarding Larry Sinclair, who has not only just come out of the closet, so to speak, to talk about Barack Obama. He did this in 2007. He was talking about it in 2008. This wasn't some Johnny-come-lately smear job from the former president, which, again, showed me that there was a lot of validity to it. It is interesting because this guy, who nobody really knew, Tucker Carlson, this episode aired last night, just about 12 hours old. It already has 12.3 million views. Again. and all kinds of people were all over this story as well. The one thing that I thought was interesting that Tucker said last night was that Larry Sinclair offered to take a test, a polygraph test. That's what Tucker said on the episode.
Yes.
And there was also another board that just refused to talk to him at the time. Now, there were stories written discrediting him, saying that he was a felon, and he spoke very eloquently about his criminal past from 20 to 26 years of age, and he talked publicly about it, but nothing ever after that. And that was and that was before he met Barack Obama. So basically, Larry Sinclair last night states, yes, on 2 occasions, he met Barack Obama in Chicago. They went back to a room. They did cocaine. I mean, the details were amazing.
They were. That's the thing that I noticed, that he could talk about the time, the place. He had no notes sitting in front of him.
No.
He gave names that even Tucker seemed to understand who they were. He even mentioned the limo driver when he and Barry did the cocaine in the
pipe.
limo.
He says he did a pipe. He's like, he remembers he did a pipe. He's like, some people snort it, some people smoke it. He said Barack liked to smoke it. Went back to the room. They had sex the next day. Barack shows up at the room again. More coke, more sex, and you go on. The key was the fact that he said that there was no doubt that this was not the first time.
Correct.
That he had done this. And other men have come forward. The first time that Larry Sinclair said that he saw Barack Obama, after that, was on stage in 2004 speaking as a state senator for Illinois. Then when he ran for president, he said he came forward, contacted contacted the Barack Obama campaign in 2007, letting them know about him because he said it was weird and eerie to him that college kids and young kids were thinking that this guy was honest about his past when he wasn't.
Correct.
He wasn't honest about being a gay man and being a cokehead.
Yep.
So then he was contacted again by somebody from the campaign in 2008 out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. So they knew, I'm sorry. And he gives the names, he gives the dates.
Yes.
Everybody can think what they want. Number one, I said this yesterday. Why is Tucker bringing this up now?
Well, and you brought that up, and that was something that I thought too. And Jeannie on the chat line is saying, why is he still alive now? If this really happened, and I'm not saying he's credible. I mean, just because he doesn't have any teeth and just because he's a cokehead is not why I'm making fun of him. It's
many times those are the people that are the most honest.
Correct.
You can't judge a book by its cover.
No,
Nobody
I
knows
agree.
if somebody's, you got to look at the details.
I agree. And when he was sitting there, he's either a very, very good liar or he remembers details like it was yesterday. He had no notes. And Tucker seemed to understand all of the people that he was talking about and what places that they were and what positions they had. And so everything lined up. I couldn't tell. What do you think about this? I couldn't tell if Tucker believed him either or not, but he definitely believed the circumstances all surrounding.
Well, Tucker wouldn't go down the full rabbit hole, but he did go down halfway.
Yes.
And the other thing about this is that he started this way back when. This is not the first time. I mean, he's been talking about this. He has put himself out there. Guess what? He hasn't made any money.
Yeah.
He hasn't made any money on this. That's another thing. He's not selling tabloid news to gain money. He's just an average dude that lives in Mexico now and has not done anything when it comes to making money.
Well, and maybe that's why he's still alive, because Robert and Jeannie and several other people on the chat line are asking, why is he still alive? Maybe because he doesn't live here. Maybe because he's in Mexico.
Yeah, not everybody gets offed anymore. And it all depends on the circumstance. It really does.
I'm surprised, though, with them. That
I don't know if anybody took the time to watch any of it. It's a 40-minute clip.
It's long.
We go to some of the clips, but Joe will pop up just a little bit so you get to see a little bit of who Larry Sinclair is with Tucker last night. And of course, Tucker Carlson being the most popular man in all of broadcasting in the world right now.
He pointed out that all I was asking was, look, why don't you just simply come out and say, I did coke and I've done it as recently as 1999. Just tell the truth. Put it out there and be honest and let it stay as the truth rather than this back and forth. Never did hear anything back from them immediately.
Who did you reach out to? Do you remember?
I reached out to actually David Axelrod's office in Chicago. I'm trying to remember the letters because it was actually 3 letters.
And did you say I had sex with Barack Obama?
This is the interesting part. My first contact with the campaign never mentioned the sex whatsoever. That was actually brought to my attention by someone who eventually reached out to me in late 2007, claiming to be with the campaign, but wasn't with the campaign.
What do you mean that was pointed out to you? So you never told anyone in the Obama campaign you did sex with Barack Obama?
Not in 2007, no.
Interesting. But they knew?
Yep.
How? Who? Well, that's weird.
I'm assuming Barack himself, because the phone calls that I got in late 2007 came from a gentleman that I have repeatedly identified as Donald Young. And it was Donald Young who had mentioned to me that the campaign was not going to acknowledge the sex and the drug interaction. And I was somewhat taken back because, like I said, I had never mentioned the sex to the campaign at all at that point. I had in 2008, but I had not in 2000.
Okay, that is amazing. And I want to get to who Donald Young was in just a minute. But I apologize for being a bad interviewer. But let me just ask the obvious question, which, what was Obama like on crack?
Actually, and I hate to say this because some people are going to think I'm really crazy. I knew a lot of people that smoked it because I was in Miami in the early 80s when it became quite popular. Similar to a friend of mine that I knew in Miami, gets extremely high, calm, almost euphoric. And then as it starts to come down, the twitching and the looking, anything that looks white that's sitting on the seat or the floor, you assume is another piece that fell off that, you can pick up and smoke. But while he was high, pretty much the same.
Pretty controlled.
Pretty controlled, euphoric, talkative, but not really saying anything.
So it was like his presidency.
That was great. Yes, that was great.
Was it your impression, and of course you would, strictly speaking, no, but was it your impression that this was the first time he'd ever smoked crack?
No. You don't, first of all, you don't buy crack, get in a limo, and have a pipe in your pocket if it's the first time you smoke crack.
Yeah.
You just don't.
That makes sense. So I've read about your story to the extent it's been written about, not very much. But I'd never read that Donald Young, this man, Donald Young.
Okay, we can come out of there right now and go through some of the other issues here. Now, Donald Young, who they get ready to talk about, who called him back, who he alleges called him back, was a friend of Barack Obama, who Larry states told him had sex with Barack Obama as well, was a black gay pastor, very well known in the Chicago area. Had nothing to do with the campaign, nothing. But yet he is calling Larry back to address these issues with Barack Obama.
Right. And he was talking about the sex, and he's like, I never mentioned the sex part of it. And he's calling me back and knowing that. And when Tucker mentioned it to him, he's like, who must have told him that? He's like, I guess Barack did.
Yeah. So basically, can you bring us back up before we take him back again, or does it have to stay up?
What do you mean, take it down for?
Yeah. Where you see, I mean, is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So you have Larry there. I'm sorry. I'm curious people's credit. I find him very credible. I do. I don't care about the story. I don't. I care less about it than Lizzie does. But I'm just talking about his credibility. And watching him for 40 minutes, he's credible to me.
Right. I care about it because, okay, he's gay. That's after the fact. Okay.
Obama.
Yes. Well, both of them for that matter. But now the reason why I think it's important is to show how much we keep getting hoodwinked. That if he really is gay, which the signs show that he is he really married to a transgender? We don't know. Probably. But the whole thing is they put on a charade this entire time. So I do think it's kind of a big deal. The fact that he's gay, no. And like I said yesterday, it was a big deal back when he ran because he would not have got elected as a gay man. Our country wasn't that progressive enough yet. Now I don't think it would matter. I think people wouldn't care whether he was gay. It's the lie that if this is true, and we don't know that for sure, but I'm with you, Vic, on that. I do think he's credible. And the reason why I think he's credible is he knew too many names. He could bring them up on the top of his head. If you're lying, I don't know that you can do that unless you're just such a good liar. But he didn't strike me as that. And I also think that if, in fact, this wasn't true, since he came back out in 2007, you said?
2007 is when he first contacted the campaign. Then he heard back in 2008.
He would have been sued by now. He would have been sued and put away for defamation of character. And he's not been sued.
No.
That's my biggest
Of course
thing,
it is.
There's no lawsuit.
And that's why I think he's credible too.
Me too.
And and then there are people that try to say that he took a polygraph. He says he never has. Tucker said he's never taken one. He's offered to, still offering to. He's not gaining anything in his life. And he's not the only person. That's just it. He's not the only one that talked about the crack and sex.
Correct.
Or the coke and sex. He's not the only guy. This is the third time I've heard, or third person in the area. And the interview also said that Barack said that he was having marriage problems, whatever that meant.
Yeah, whatever that meant. And the interesting thing of it is some of the people are alluding or saying it on the chat line, and I agree with them. And we mentioned it yesterday, the radicalization of our children today with the gay agenda, and this is not about liking gay people or any of that, whether you do or you don't. It's literally, this has been shoved in our faces so much since Barack Obama has been in there. There's a reason, and I said that yesterday, that he brought that up in his last term, and almost all presidents prior to Trump kind of kept their personal beliefs out until like their last term, maybe their last year or two. And then what they really think gets pushed and pushed and pushed. In his last year, he pushed the gay agenda, he pushed transgenders, he pushed the bathroom. So this is a story for that alone, because he wasn't a gay man. He isn't married to a transgender. If we find out that's the case, which if I'm a betting person, and in my opinion, we're going to find that out in our lifetime. But the longer time goes, the more our society has to become accepting of this sort of a lifestyle. If not, you're considered a homophobe.
Well, Pam, in line with you and in line with a lot of people, said he would not have won if people knew this back then.
That's absolutely true. He would not have won back then.
The deep state wanted him, planted him, and they're there to tear apart our country.
Absolutely.
Regardless of what people feel. I believe them. And I've said that, and I'm not weird, and I don't think that I'm less intelligent for believing it. For 25 years, I've worked in media. I've talked to inmates. I've interviewed presidents, senators, lawyers, you name it, school teachers, kids, any kind of person you can imagine for 25 years. I've also had to ask questions. I've had to do research and make judgments on people. And I've always felt, not in an arrogant way, but prayed for intuition as well. And I'm telling you, everything checks out with the guy in regards to what he's saying, for me, at least. And of course, this isn't just the first time I've heard about him. I looked up all of the information years ago when it all came out, and then it was kind of pushed aside. And yeah, you're dealing with a guy that's done a lot of cocaine.
You bet.
So does that automatically eliminate what you're going to say is truth?
Some people might think.
I know a lot of people who've done a lot of cocaine who are in positions of power and have a lot of success in their life from a financial standpoint. And guess what? Just because they can function with it doesn't mean their truth is different than somebody else's. I've seen it. He's credible. I believe him. Can we play another little chunk, Joe, when you get a chance, of Larry Sinclair with Tucker Carlson? Because it's, once again, the information that he's bringing up and that Tucker's bringing to light is what most people in America are watching now and intaking. It's not crap stuff from CNN or anywhere else. It's from Tucker Carlson.
Barack, I said, I'm not accusing Barack of anything, but I said, I'm willing to bet my life that Barack Obama and Jeremiah Wright both know or have knowledge of who killed Donald Young. There is no doubt in my mind.
Donald Young was then murdered.
Well, this was a guy who was clearly going to be the next leader of
Donald Young, the gay pastor who called him, was murdered within a month later. And Donald Young's mom even states that she feels her son died to protect the secrets of Barack Obama.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm sure that's the case. And it wasn't lost on me that he was saying to Tucker that basically he would bet his life on it. And I'm thinking from this interview on, he better watch his back, because his life will depend on the fact that he can remain safe, because they're really going to be gunning for him now, because they know they can't go to court on this. If they do sue him now and all of this information comes out, then it even sheds the light brighter on the lies that Barack Obama and everybody around him had.
Yeah,
so they'll just off him.
We can play some more now, please.
Over bar fights. There's a lot at stake here. I have no knowledge of this. I'm not alleging a murder by the Obama campaign or its allies, but it's not a crazy thing to wonder, obviously.
No, and the only thing after I realized what had happened with Donald Young, the only thing I'd ever asked was the same thing that I had done. And I said, if you want to accuse me of being crazy, release your phone records. Turn over your phone records from your phone in '99. Turn over your phone records for the last year. I mean, it's that easy. If you've got nothing to hide, it's not like they're going to be made public. Turn them over to authorities. Let them investigate. Let them look. But no.
So now seems like a fair time to ask about your motive. So your initial motive was you were annoyed because you believed or you knew that Obama was lying about his drug use.
Right.
But then after the Donald Young exchange, where he brings up the sex that you had with Obama, what was the point at which you decided, I'm just going to bring this to the country, I'm going to go public?
Well, in January of 2008, after having contacted the campaign yet again, I had decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to make a YouTube video and put it up, which I did. It wasn't because I was looking for anything out of it. In fact, if I had even stopped long enough to anticipate the blowback and the consequences of speaking out, me being me, it probably would not have stopped me. It might have slowed me a little bit, but it would not have stopped me. But I figured if you're going to call him out, you can't call him out on part of it. And people have said, well, why didn't you just talk about the drug use and leave the sex out? And I said, because if I said he just used drugs and then you found out later it was drugs and sex, you would accuse me of lying because I didn't mention the sex. So my opinion was, if you're going to tell the story, then you tell the whole story and let the chips fall where they may. So that's exactly what I did.
And so you made a YouTube video. By the way, I looked for it last night. I couldn't find it.
That's because YouTube gave access to my account to someone shortly after the polygraph test. And I was never given access back to it before the video was actually deleted.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
YouTube gave access to the account and the video was deleted. Microsoft gave access to my Hotmail account and all of my emails were circulating the internet, and vacation replies were set up on my email telling people that I was busy giving blowjobs and would get back with them when I was done. And oh, yeah.
Man, they wanted Obama to be president.
Bingo.
Yep, and they wanted me to be the biggest fraud and nutcase that ever existed.
So I got to ask you, I mean, I wasn't there. I can only assess what you're saying. I don't see any obvious motive for you for gain, financial gain. You're not going to get rich doing this. And in fact, you haven't. You've gotten impoverished as a result of it. But like, if I'm a reporter, well, I was a reporter at the time. I remember thinking, well, that's an interesting story. But it seemed like nobody in the media wanted to follow up with you. And some people, like Ben Smith at Politico, who's a liar and a shill posing as a journalist, I reread the piece last night that he wrote saying, oh, it's ridiculous. Right off the first graph, it's ridiculous, these claims.
Well, I think I have an answer for why a lot of reporters did not want to follow up. And I think it would have something to do with what David Axelrod told a old Chicago Sun-Times reporter, or no, a Chicago Tribune reporter, John Crutzen.
Axelrod had been a reporter in Chicago before he went into politics.
Well, John Crutzen worked for the Chicago Tribune. And John Crutzen actually came to Duluth, Minnesota and sat down with me and talked with me. And John Crutzen had told me point blank that before he had flown out, that he had spoken to Axelrod, and that Axelrod had told him that they were aware of who I was, and that it was their intentions to destroy me, and that if any reporter had mentioned me to them, they would be completely cut off, and that outlet would be completely cut off from access to the Obama campaign.
And that's how it works.
Yeah. So I think that had a lot to do with why reporters didn't bring things up to the campaign, because everybody wanted access to, the new savior. Nobody wanted to be blackballed and denied access to a historic campaign.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's the guy's running for president and credible information comes out that he's smoking crack and having sex with dudes, I mean, that seems like a story.
Well, it would be a story if the media really cared about telling people the truth about anything.
Yeah, they're liars. And that Ben Smith is a liar.
Oh, Ben Smith's more than a liar, but
Ben
you're
Smith
right.
was a reporter.
He's a complete fraud.
Went after Larry
Ben
Sinclair.
Smith, I hear people talking about grifters. Ben Smith to me is a grifter. Ben Smith wrote an article saying that I had a 27-year
Criminal history.
Career criminal. And the funny thing is if you look my criminal history up, which I've published myself and provided from day one, my criminal history goes from 1980 to 1986. And everything I've ever done, I've owned it. I've never wasted taxpayer money. And any sentence I've ever been given, I've served. But he also said that I was a fugitive, that I was avoiding prosecution, I was trying to prevent from going to jail. None of that was true. But the media ran with it. Even Greta.
Yep.
Even Greta linked to it.
Greta
And said that
refused
people
to
asked
cover
me
it.
why I would not interview Larry Sinclair. This is why. And she linked to Ben Smith's article. And notice his article was published right when I was preparing to do the press conference at the National Press Club. But hey, the National Press Club, so-called beacon for freedom of the press,
They're not.
they were just as involved in trying to keep the story from ever being.
It's interesting. I watched the other night, I watched your entire National Press Club appearance, and in it, you detail your intersections with law enforcement in exhaustively.
Yep.
Every time you've been arrested, you explain it. Every time you've done time, you explain it. So you didn't, from what I could tell, hide your past.
No, why? You can't. I mean, I've never hidden my past in regular everyday life. Why would I hide it in something like this?
So, I mean, you're the only person on this set who's had sex with Barack Obama. So I think you're, I don't know, expert on Obama, but you know more than most people. What's your assessment of him now?
I think he's the same grifter that he's always been. I think he's still very power hungry. I think Obama is calling the shots in the current Biden administration more than people are willing to admit. I think Obama is hell-bent. I had made a statement during that press conference that I felt that Barack Obama being elected was going to push race relations in this country backwards 50 years. I am absolutely positive I was.
Yes, I think you've been vindicated on that.
Because race relations in this country has not only gotten pushed back, but everything's about race now.
Yep.
Everything.
Yes, it
Everything
is.
is about victimization now.
I'm a victim.
It's interesting though. Yeah, he's obviously a race hater, very anti-white, but he had sex with a white man. So you have to ask, like, is that real?
Oh, for him, of course. I would be willing to bet you I'm not the only white person he's ever had sex with, or male anyway.
Don Lemon chose a white man.
But hey, he's got what he wanted. You know, he is in D.C. He's living the life. He's still looked upon as being the savior of the country. You know, and sadly, people are still giving him that power. And I think it's going eventually to be to the detriment of.
Can I just ask you one last question? How did you?
We'll listen to this
thing
last
is
question.
Very insightful because
That's interesting.
I knew a lot of people who weren't liberal who voted for Obama purely on the race question. And they weren't all self-hating, guilty whites. They were like nice, normal people who wanted to see race relations improve. And that really was the core promise of his campaign. And a lot of people bought it. A lot of smart people bought it. And I saw why they bought it. But you didn't buy it. How did you know that?
I grew up in South Carolina in the 1960s and 70s, okay? I've been gay and knew I was gay since 6 years old. Never hid it, okay?
Yeah.
I grew up in rural South Carolina. And my first job as a kid was cropping tobacco for a family by the name of Rose that were a black family living across the road from my grandparents. So I grew up as a kid, a gay kid, in an era and an area that would get you killed being gay just as quick as you could be hanging being black. So I actually knew the other side of the track before I knew that I was supposed to act like I was above this or above that. I've watched it my whole life. I know when someone plays, when it comes to acting like they're one way and then in reality they're the biggest racists or bigots alive on both sides. Okay. I knew because he was saying one thing in the campaign, and then if people started to actually listen to what he was saying, remember there was a time when he actually told supporters to show up at a fight with a knife, get in people's face, argue with them if they didn't agree to support him, if they didn't agree to vote for him, argue with them, convince them. Come on. You don't make statements like that and tell me that you're not going to make things about race.
And that is the interview with Larry Sinclair. We've
Yes.
covered a lot of it, and we let him talk for a while because there is so much to unpack with everything that was going on. Once again, in my humble opinion, he's credible. Okay, fine. What does it mean? Well, it means that the American people, if he is telling the truth, were lied to. Is there a way to prove it? Well, not really. Not in this day and age of proving. But once again, we like to philosophize things as Americans, as humans. I thought he came off more in a positive light, as believable than non-believable. The winner in the interview is Tucker. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt.
Yes, he was hysterical.
The loser in the interview is Barack Obama. There's too much there. Even if you, he's. I guarantee Michael Michelle probably already knows all of this.
I'm sure.
But if she, he, whatever didn't know this, Brahma got a beat down last night.
I'm sure. Could you imagine what
he ain't going to be out in public anytime soon? No, I'm just kidding. But the best lines of the night delivered by Tucker Carlson. Yeah, so you're smoking crack and having sex with dudes.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, you're the only person on set that's had sex with Barack Obama. And, well, I guess that left a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker continues to rock and roll. I still feel there was a reason he brought him to light. And I don't think this is the end of the story. I think at some point Tucker will have on Barack's brother to talk about maybe a life full of gay and just admitting and giving stories that, listen, okay, Barack Obama's gay. He just hasn't come public with everybody in the world.
I feel like there's something on Obama's phone records.
Well, that's why he brought up the phone records.
That's why. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that might be the reason why he's bringing this to light, because that's a way to get whatever the phone records
from 1999.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, it's almost taunting them to sue him.
Sue me, and then watch what happens when I bring out what was there before.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a reason this guy's still breathing. There's a reason he is allowed to do these stories. There is a reason he could go on with the most popular man in the world when it comes to bringing broadcasting of video and audio anywhere to tell his story.
That's exactly.
There's a reason he's being allowed to do it. On a scale of 1 to 10, like I said, I find him credible at a 9 or above.
Yeah, I do too.
Judge, you find him credible?
I usually have a pretty good bullshit meter, and that guy was not setting it off.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all. That's what I'm saying. It makes sense to me from where he's coming from. What happens from this point forward? I don't know. Does it tarnish any of the legacy of Barack Obama? For Democrats, probably no. If you're a Republican, it makes you feel more. Or if you didn't like Obama, it makes you feel more about how you felt. Just like with Donald Trump, the same kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 presidents before the clown that's currently occupying the White House, if he's even there, if he's not on a vacation, that's what it was. 2 very solidifying figures, figures, and for different reasons at that point in time. Derek, who takes care of our merchandise, co-host on the show, also says, I believe he's credible. Why make yourself look bad if you're lying?
Correct. It sets him up to be in a very precarious situation where people are going to come after him now. You're not going to do that unless there's truth in this.
Chris says the interview was too much of a smoking gun. Yes, pun intended.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
For Barry to avoid.
And our very own
guarantee this wouldn't come to a lawsuit for fear of discovery. Correct. That's why he hasn't been sued.
That's exactly right. And our very own Eric Johnson says it sure seems like trans rights are all about softening up the American people to bring Michelle Obama out of the closet. But what does he know, according to Eric?
No, exactly.
So I could see that happening for
they've
sure.
got to at some point in time.
Yeah.
But once again, I was with 2 guys last night who I respect and love, and they both said there's no way Michelle No way Michelle is Michael or ever was. That's the stupidest thing you could ever. Come on. There's no way in hell you can believe that. And I said, well, here's why I say something isn't adding up.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say something's fishy? Because I'm not sure. There's too much has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Barack Obama calling Michael or calling Michelle Michael 2 times at least, a third time possibly.
Yes.
Joan Rivers saying that she was a tranny and then she dies in a common procedure.
Mm-hmm.
What, a month later?
Yeah. I don't even know if it was that long after, but you're right.
I mean, the pictures, no pregnancy pictures. I mean, it's their friends. They're good friends who look identical to the daughters of Barack and Michelle. We've talked about this so many times. I mean, it's too much for me as a guy who's been a reporter breaking down information. Are we going to run a story or are we not? You have a mountain of evidence, and there's too much there for me to say 100%. Michelle is Michelle. I'm sorry. There's just too much.
Correct. And what is the shame in adoption?
And there's nothing wrong with me. Exactly.
So why don't you just say they're adopted? Because clearly they were. And there's no shame in that. Why are you hiding that fact? There's, why?
What does David mean the next day?
She was offed the next day. Joan Rivers, it was like the surgery happened in the next day.
It was the next day?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the next day. I think he's right. I mean, hello. And at the time, people like the rag magazines were all like, oh my gosh, that's why you got to be careful with plastic surgery and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't believe at all that that's what happened. She came out and said Michelle was a tranny, and she was fine with that. So it wasn't like she was dishing him. She's like, it's fine that he was a tranny. And she's like, we all knew that.
Yeah, and she didn't diss him in the interview. Or
no.
They kind of bum rushed her as she was walking up steps.
Correct.
The media that was there that day.
Yes.
Jay says, hey, it's an easy fix. Release pictures of Michael in the present.
Very good point. That is a great point, Jay. So if Michael isn't Michelle and vice versa, let's see Michael today and let's see Michelle today. But you never do see that.
No, you don't. And you're not going
That
to.
is a good point.
And it's another one of those, who killed Kennedy? It's another one of those.
It is.
Conspiracy theories, although I find it way, 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 way too much on the side of there being something for Michael, something definitely with Barack.
Agree.
And this guy, because they couldn't off him, they couldn't go after him. Now they can't. I mean, of course, if Larry ever died, it would be with syringes in his arms or an overdose.
Right.
They would do that to him.
Absolutely.
But it's interesting. He lives in Mexico and, of course, brought all this to light last night.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was a very credible interview, despite Tucker trying to have fun with it.
Yes.
And not trying to go down the rabbit hole, but he was down the rabbit hole. Trying to make it serious, saying you had sex, not saying you allegedly had sex, but you had sex with Barack Obama. And then, of course, did it leave a bad taste in your mouth? What was it like smoking crack and having sex with dudes like Obama?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and so forth. So we see where it goes from this point moving forward. I don't know. I don't know. Plane crash, possibly. Todd Bodecker talking about Larry Sinclair, but I just appreciated his sincerity with everything as well. Every single detail still there. Crackheads don't remember details. They just don't. Not over and over like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not being able to explain things in detail like that. So why does it matter again at the end of the day? Well, it matters because then the American public was lied to.
Correct. That's the big reason.
And moving forward, if you're a Democrat and you love Obama, why does it matter? Well, truth, and the legacy of Barack Obama and who he is, and not hiding if you're gay.
Correct.
And coming out of the closet and stopping the lie that was put for the American people. I mean, literally, this guy was given he was given a Nobel Peace Prize in under a year of being in office for doing absolutely crap. He did nothing. It was all ordained. This is why, as a reporter and in my past, I break down every little thing you go down. I mean, this man was given an award, a massive award. It's not a massive award anymore because of who's received it for no work. Just like I have a problem with Harvard. Harvard's considered to be this massive institution, yet Lori Lightfoot was teaching there. You bring Lori Lightfoot in to teach at your university, you lose all credibility with me.
Me too. With me too.
The Pulitzer Prize, they gave in under a year of being in office. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Trump did more on day 7 than he did in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him the Peace Prize.
Yeah. That tells you everything that you want to know about Harvard now. I mean, really.
Well, yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked, but yes.
Yes. Yes.
Lori, yeah, we're such a great university. Oh, we're Harvard. Oh, we're going to bring in Lori Lightfoot. Screw you, Harvard. I mean, seriously.
That's right. Screw you, Harvard.
What a joke of a university. Okay, anyway.
But it is true.
Don't forget Yale.
Yeah, and all that. Well, don't even forget.
Thanks,
this is
Jill.
getting off the topic, but this is a good point to bring this up now. Screw
and
you,
Mary
Harvard.
Mary said he got it because he's black. I guess referring that just because of the color of his skin, he got an award.
Could be. And there's a lot of that going on. There's a lot of participation medals going on to people of color just because they're that color. People are getting selected for positions just because of their color. And you were talking about schools. I am going to go off on this for a little bit. It's, last night I saw this in a private school in St. Louis County. All that DEI, let's wear a mask, let's have white guilt. And you talk about bad taste in your mouth. As I was leaving, I literally said to my husband,
we need to stop. I brought that up.
I'm going to say it again, but here's why. I literally was
I can't get that taste out of my mouth.
I after being there, I kept saying to my husband, I have a bad taste in my mouth. And he goes, you know why? He goes, this place has an ionizer in it. These people are so afraid to die and their white privilege that there was this big ionizer in there. And these poor babies are playing volleyball with masks on
What do you
all
mean?
that.
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about schools these days. We were talking about Harvard hiring people like that. It's right here in St. Louis County. There's private schools like that.
No, I don't have anything to share. Sorry, people. And nobody's going to be coming out of the closet to say, Vic.
Vic, are you coming out of the closet?
I'm not. And hey, if you're gay, that's fine. We have lots of gay friends on the show, and our friend, whatever. We have lots of friends.
Derek wants to know if we want a new shirt that says that about we have a bad taste in our mouth.
No.
I'm not sure I would wear that one.
Actually, if you wanted to create, I'm not going to put a picture of Barack Obama on my body, but at the same point in time, that would be an interesting shirt that was made, or bumper sticker or whatever with Brock's face.
That would be good.
Do you have a bad taste in your mouth, or?
I don't know. You could make a bumper sticker, Derek, because some of our listeners would buy that.
I think you should make a bumper sticker that says, cancel this will not leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Boom. Love it.
Here we go.
Oh.
Chris says, as Harvard stands, when you bring Brian, Mr. Potato Head Stelter as a teacher, they've lost all credibility as well. Great point. Love it. Derek says, great idea, Joe. Love the idea with your bumper sticker. Cancel this.
Doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Oh my God. No, I don't have anything to share. But if I ever did, I would say it right here on canceltheshow.com. We would get to all of that. I promise. So he goes back. Oh my God, Glenn, Glenn says Monica Lewinsky had a bad taste in her yeah, baby. Here we go. Bring it on.
Ended up with a little bit on her dress too.
Oh my God.
Why don't you could wear a blue dress and have that on and have, never mind. I'm going to stop because I'm going to get shock collared.
I thought Joe was going to bring up your sound drop. I thought he was going to hit that a couple times.
You can't handle the truth.
Balls. You can't handle the truth. Balls. Balls.
Oh my God. Where has this show gone?
Oh,
it's kind of gone that way. Real quick, still to come here. New York City Mayor Eric Adams. This sound is going to blow your mind. He says New York City is dead. This is the mayor, the freaking mayor talking about this. Trump says, yeah, I'm going to take the stand. We have terrific sound with him. Before the end of the month, Hunter Biden is going to be indicted. There's so much to get to. But first of all, we want to give a shout out to our show sponsor, Complete Auto Body Repair. Curtis Sparks and Crew, 7 locations, climate-controlled locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. They are the best when it comes to your vehicle, A to Z. Several customers come from watching canceltheshow.com. They're also looking for employees. We'll have Sandy Travis, their human resources manager, on next week. We've also given a lot of interviews with Complete Auto Body Care from people who've listened to the show. CompleteAB.com. Let them know you listen to them or hear about them on cancelthisshow.com. They'll take care of you. We're appreciative of that. Strategic Air Services, everything in luxury and private flying you need to learn about. StrategicAirServices.net. Of course, always let our advertisers and sponsors know you heard about them from canceltheshow.com. They'll take care of you from that standpoint. It'll shock you where you can fly, where you can go, what you can do for the price that you can do, avoiding TSA and all the problems of flying public when you have to deal with all kinds of stuff. Todd at vpcnetwork.com. He's going to be in tomorrow morning early from the Vehicle Protection Group. They're still looking for a couple employees. You take inbound calls selling car warranties. The customers come to you. Their best people there are making six figures. They train you. They take care of everything. Todd at vpcnetwork.com. You can listen to him tomorrow morning as we get things rocking with him. Greenlight Dispensary, the #1 dispensary in the state of Missouri. Not only are they the largest, they provide the best prices and the best products because of the size that they have in the state of Missouri. You can go to greenlightdispensary.com, check out everything, or go to our website and download this coupon, the coupon that we're showing you right now. You can take in, use it, and get a discount on the merchandise that you have. This is canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. We love it when you guys jump in on the show. Like, subscribe, share the show. You can send stars on Facebook. Also, if you have ideas for story ideas, interviews, cancel culture education, let us know, and we'll follow up on it. We'll do whatever we possibly can from that standpoint. We're trying to bring you the best stories, the best talk that you're just not going to hear anywhere else. All opinions are welcome. Just be somewhat kind. Don't be cussing out people. Don't be hoping for murder and things of that nature. Okay. Do we start with Eric Adams?
Yeah, let's do it.
Trump or Hunter?
Let's do Eric Adams, and then, of course,
okay,
leave the best for last.
Okay. Trump-tastic?
Trump-tastic. This is a Trump-tastic kind of a day.
Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, and this stuff is going to piss you off. I found light in the Obama story that we were talking about. Listen to Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, talk about what's happening to his city right now. I say his city because he's the mayor, because of all the illegal immigration. And we're never going to stop talking about this. What's happened at the border? The wall should have been built. We should have had border control in place. We've been allowing not only the people from Mexico to come in, but now all of South America. This will shock you. It'll stun you. It should piss you off. And it's coming to a city near you if it's not there already.
And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City. We're getting 10,000 migrants a month. One time we were just getting Venezuela. Now we're getting Ecuador. Now we're getting Russian speaking coming through Mexico. Now we're getting Western Africa. Now we're getting people from all over the globe have made their minds up that they're going to come through the southern part of the border and come into New York City. And everyone is saying it's New York City's problem. Every community in this city is going to be impacted. We got a $12 billion deficit that we're going to have to cut. Every service in this city is going to be impacted. All of us. And so I say to you, as I turn it over to you, this is some of the most educated, some of the most knowledgeable, probably more of my commissioners and deputy commissioners and chiefs live in this community. So as you asked me a question about migrants, tell me what role you played. How many of you organized to stop what they're doing to us? How many of you were part of the movement to say, we're seeing what this mayor is trying to do and they're destroying New York City? It's going to come to your neighborhoods. All of us are going to be impacted by this. I said it last year when we had 15,000. I'm telling you now, with 110,000, the city we knew we're about to lose. And we're all in this together, all of us. Staten Island is saying, send them out to Manhattan. Manhattan is saying, send them out to Queens. Queens is saying, send them out to Brooklyn. No, it's not the game we can play. Open the floor up.
Close the damn border.
Yeah, well, here's the issue that we have right now. The border's not going to be closed. Eric Adams has finally called out Barack Obama. National media won't cover it. New York local media, I did check it out. They are running his sound because they're scared shitless in New York City, and they should be.
They should be.
They get everything that they deserve. And New Yorkers, you can be pissed off at me all you want. You voted for Democrats. You voted for this kind of stuff. You elected Joe Biden. I mean, the state of New York went Joe Biden. Eventually, it's going to be time to pay the piper. Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you a sanctuary city too, New York? Yes, you were.
Yes.
It sounds all nice and good and cookies and lemonade poolside. It sounds so nice. We're going to just be great and nice to everybody, and we're going to break laws, and we're not going to look at the guidelines that have been put in place because how dare we're afraid of the small little minority people making a big noise. Oh, you guys are going to be racist if you're going to be racist, and you're going to get canceled if you don't succumb to what we want you to come to. And you're going to be afraid. You have to battle. You have to stand up, and you have to go with these people. New York City's getting everything that they deserve because of their politics. New York City picked a fight with Governor Abbott.
Yep.
Eric Adams is refusing to talk about ripping Abbott. When the border was being, I guess we would say, neglected and the wall was being shut down, Eric Adams wasn't speaking up. Democrats weren't speaking up. The Democrats on the border were, not these people in other states. You deserve everything you're getting. And I'm sorry, it sucks. And New York City will be destroyed. It's just a matter of time. He's not just flying off, and he's not overdoing it. 10,000 illegals a month going straight to New York City. Holy shit. Think about that. If you live there, oh my God. Megan Marie says virtual signaling until it's in your own backyard.
Absolutely.
Bingo.
And the whole state, like Bryce Little is saying, Western New York is all red, but they're at the mercy of New York City, which is now a hellhole. And
I feel bad for people.
I do too.
I feel bad for the people who didn't want this because we showed you video yesterday of New Yorkers trying to stand up and stop the buses from, rolling into their communities of illegals. We broadcast live in the St. Louis, Missouri area. It doesn't matter. This is going to hit everywhere.
Yes, it is.
And we're all going to face it at some point in time. That's why on this show, over 200 episodes, and today we are celebrating our 200th episode, we have continued to focus on the border. And we will, even when other media outlets forget about it or only talk about it when something happens, we're going to continue to talk about it. That's why we bring John Rourke on Operation Cleanup. Check out his podcast on Instagram. Good friend of the show. He goes down and cleans up. He is going to Brownsville, Texas this weekend to clean up. And he's going to have more video. And we're going to have him on the show at the end of next week so that he can show what the hell is continuing to happen. Just because national media won't cover it doesn't mean it's not happening. It's going to be bad. Jeff says you get what you voted for in New York. That doesn't mean everybody voted for Eric Adams. It doesn't mean everybody voted for Joe Biden. It doesn't mean everybody's continued to vote for the New York Democrats that they have. It's just it's an overwhelming amount. That's why they get elected. That's why I feel bad for the conservatives who didn't want this in California and Texas and Arizona and New Mexico, where all of this crap is happening. Think about 10,000 illegals a month running through your city.
It's crazy.
Last year at this time, they had 10,000. Now they've got 110,000.
It's crazy. And it is literally coming to a city near you. If it's not already there, and if you look real hard, it's already there. Even in rural places, it's already there.
Do you think people really understand or care?
No, I don't think most people get it.
I just don't know. In Missouri, in Oklahoma, in Kansas, in Michigan,
It's already here, like Derek's saying on the chat line. It's already here locally.
It may be in the St. Louis metropolitan area now, but it's not like it is in New York. It's not even close.
Absolutely.
We can say it's here, but what does that mean?
Yeah, and that's why they're pushing DEI in our schools, so that you have guilt if you speak up about anyone that doesn't look like you. And it's not the color, it's what they're doing. They're illegal. They're breaking the law. But, that's okay because, DEI, we have to be inclusive. And so that's what they're pushing down the kids' throats. You can see it all over. If you look at what you guys go home and look at your kids' social media and what they're looking at TikTok, they're pushing it down your kids' throat, even on your social media.
Robert says most people don't care because they have their daily issues themselves. Mm-hmm. That's true.
That is true.
I get it because it's what happens in life. Paul says California Governor Newsom, he's embracing this crap.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's true. Because if you're a Democrat, you can't. You'll be eliminated because that's what's happened to the Democrat Party. The Democratic Party has changed. Now you just can't be a Democrat. You have to be a hard left progressive.
Correct.
And it's really unfortunate because it's also killed the parties and trying to balance one another out. I try to keep an open mind with all of it, but you can't when you have a party that is pushing all of the stuff that they are and pushing it to the extent because you have to go 100% to the far left. I know there's some instances where it happens to the right, but when we talk about this issue of illegal aliens coming into this country, occupying it, and coming, once again, not just from Mexico. Now it's, as Eric Adams said so eloquently, Venezuela, Ecuador, Russia, West Africa, and all parts of the world coming to the United States and flowing right through New York City. And you know what, Governor Abbott, if I were you, I would continue to do the same damn thing.
You betcha.
If you're sitting on a border town and Biden/Obama and the administration that we see right now and Mayorkas and Homeland Security aren't doing anything about it and refuse to do anything about it, and media won't have a dedicated person or people or team to do daily stories on what's happening at the border, then shame on you. Then you get what you deserve. Abbott has no other choice. The state of Texas and other states have no other choice but to protect their own citizens, because we all know, even if all these hundreds of thousands of illegals crossing the border were safe and meant all goodwill towards Americans, they're still messing up the food chain, the supply chain. There's no housing. There's not enough resources to take care of everybody right now. There's not. It's simple. The average person and average intelligence can understand that. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get really bad. And guess what? You open your mouth and you say you're a sanctuary city and, oh, we're New York City. We're great. We're this, we're that. Yeah, well, here you go. Check it out. And I still don't understand what Angie keeps saying in the UK. She's always saying it's the same over here.
Well, she's meaning when she and I have talked on text, exactly what's happening in America, they're getting flooded with illegals there too. And they have these quotes.
Illegals from where?
Basically the same as us, from all over. They're getting them everywhere. Just the same problem we have, the UK. But I even think the UK has it on steroids because they've allowed this to happen long before we did.
Mary says, and who wants to pay taxes to take care of illegals? And that's what
that's what we're doing.
The system's going to bust. It's going to break. In what specific instances and how, I don't know. Shay says healthcare. It's hard enough to get into a doctor. Yeah, it is. And I'm telling you right now, doctors that I talk to, and I talk to them almost on a daily basis, different doctors, they literally will tell you privately, not publicly, but they're not encouraging young people to be doctors because they say the business sucks.
Correct.
I've been asked so many times about media. I'm like, if I were you, I told my own kids, don't go into media.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different kind of media. What we're doing now is a different kind, but not, oh, I'm going to stand up there and be local news anchor, blah, blah, blah. The American dollar's tanking. A lot of businesses, people will say, don't be that. We even had attorneys say, don't be attorneys. Now, we need attorneys. I think
we need conservative attorneys, because the attorneys my kids that are our attorneys hang around with, they're one of the very few conservatives. Most of our attorneys and judges are liberal. So we do need conservative attorneys.
It's 10,000 illegals into New York City every month. 10,000.
Yeah.
Destroying the city. And and this is why Donald Trump was focusing so heavily on this a few weeks ago and say one of his main agendas as president, besides fixing the economy that was going well before Obama broke it, was the fact that now he has to come in and put together the largest sweep this country has ever seen. I still don't know how that would happen. I still don't know how we would have the money to do it, but to sweep and try to clean the country.
Right.
To clean the country of illegals. And then that's going to be a massive problem. Glenn says, oh yeah, Vic, don't forget police officers are telling kids the same thing. Do not become police officers. You do not want this thankless job.
Correct.
Derek, think of the trash smell in New York City.
The trash smell is disgusting. And they take their trash, for any of you that have never been to New York City. My son lived there for a little while. They have their trash just goes on the curb. They don't really have trash cans, or even like our city here in St. Louis, at least has dumpsters out back. They literally do once or twice a week. They leave the trash on their curb, and then it's just picked up with this big scoopy thing. So then when you're walking down on trash day, and the day before, the stench in New York City is disgusting.
Jay says Chicago O'Hare housing 400 illegals right now. Derek trying to add a little levity to our serious conversation because we do try to have some fun here. It's our infotainment 2 hours, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting, at least we think. We think it flies by. Clinton to Obama and Biden. They will leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Yes, they will.
Hence the interview last night, Tucker Carlson with Obama's former gay lover, allegedly. So you were left with a bad taste in your mouth. Tucker Carlson. Sophie says, not to mention all the needles and rats. And our friend John Rourke showed us and has shown us the video of all the trash that's left behind as all the illegals come in. But of course, media is not going to show you that anywhere. Liberal media is not going to do it. Local media is certainly not going to show all of the crap that's going on.
Literal crap. Just like Aaron said, the homeless poop is worse now all over the sidewalk.
I can't even think.
It is. It's true. You go down any of these big cities, there is poop literally sitting on the sidewalk that the people with the needles, they're all strung out. So they just poop right on the sidewalk. And it's not the dogs pooping. It's human drug addicts are pooping on the sidewalk.
A week and a half ago, I don't remember if we ran the video or not, if we got to it, but San Francisco's federal building, San Francisco literally told their employees not to show up for work.
Yes.
Because they said it was unsafe. This is the federal building where they told them we're going to work from home. And then the video is showing all of the homeless, all of the drug addicts outside on the steps. That's where they're living. Nobody's kicking them off. Nobody's moving them out. There's nowhere to go. It's a separate issue, but it's illegals coming in. It's homeless. It's the whole system that is falling apart. And we can say, oh, everything's fine in our nice little, our nice little suburb right now. We go out, we have our dinners, we have our beers, we have our drinks. But I'm telling you, it's happening all around the country. It may not be exactly where you live or exactly where you sit, but slowly but surely it's coming. It's going to expand out.
Most people are going to wait until it's on their doorstep and then deal with it.
But what are we supposed to do, though? That's just what I was getting to.
Right.
What do we do right now?
We just have to
close
keep
the
making
borders and start shipping them back.
Exactly.
Yep.
You have. It's like with anything. You have a pipe that burst in your house. You're not cleaning up the water. You go and you take care of the pipe first, then you clean up the water.
There's a hole in the boat. Start bailing.
Yeah.
Start bailing.
You knock out that wall. You get in. You fix the damn pipe. Border wall.
Yep.
Police. Then you deal with the other shit afterwards. Then you clean up everything as long as it takes.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not happening. Another interesting thing. Aaron Bland says Columbia, Missouri, where the University of Missouri is getting extremely bad with homelessness.
It is. Columbia, Springfield, Missouri. There's homeless people all over near these college towns right now. Well, because they're primarily Democrat run, or the Democrat legislature is squeezing on in there. In Springfield, it's red, but it's turned blue in their legislature.
Yeah, just don't say that we haven't been trying to bring these things up on Cancel This, especially when it comes to the border. It's near and dear to my heart. I see what's happening. You know what? I do feel sorry. excuse me, I do have a heart. I feel sorry for people in liberal cities.
I do too.
Who didn't vote for any of the crap that they're dealing with right now, but they're dealing with the crap they got because of the liberal cities and the liberal president and the non-existent president who's there right now. I have family that live in Temecula, Marietta, California, and they fight this stuff on a daily basis. They say that in that area, they're surrounded by what you would call patriots, Lizzie, that people in the Midwest have no idea how to really fight because they're not up against the situation every day.
True.
And fighting means going to student council meetings, even if you don't have kids.
Yeah.
It means showing up where politicians are. It means writing letters. It means saying, no, we're not going to wear masks. It means not going to businesses that support certain things. It means being polite and being persistent.
Yes.
And doing the best and knowing that, guess what? You kind of already know that you're never going to, quote, win full time, but it's continuing that fight over and over. And most people don't have the gumption for it. You just sit back because it wears you out.
It does wear you out. And you have to. If you're literally sitting somewhere with your child and you see something going on, it's uncomfortable to get up and try to get it fixed in the situation when everyone else is sitting around you completely clueless. And when you try to fix something, you look like you're crazy. But you know what? There's more people in those stands than you think that agree with you. It takes one person, to get up and do something, and you'll see more follow.
Glenn Thompson adds to the show. Guys, I visited Tokyo, largest city recently in the world. Tokyo, largest city in the world. Tokyo, Japan. No trash, no homelessness anywhere.
Correct.
But Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't believe they have a welfare system either. I think a lot of what we do in America, and correct me if I'm wrong, we give a lot of stuff.
We sure do.
And we give hand-me-outs. And we give. I don't believe they have that. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know what? There's really not homelessness in Mexico either. My friends that visit Mexico say they don't see homelessness because their government doesn't give freebies. They don't give it out.
They have to work for it.
Why do you think everybody wants to come to America?
Yes, because it's free. Yep. And they're saying education system in Japan is also top notch. And in the United States, some of our top notch, and we already talked about Harvard, is not top notch. And so many people are paying $30,000, $40,000 a year for these private schools that are literally indoctrinating your child with critical race theory and DEI and white people are bad and Black people are victims, and people are paying good money for that. So we always talk about how it's going on in our public school systems. No, some of the top private schools in America, even right here in St. Louis, have gone completely woke.
Jessica says, pretty simple, literally cut off welfare in 2 years. Only give welfare to veterans and disabled.
Yep.
Yeah, but once again, here's the problem. You have, and I'm not trying to make it a blue-red issue, but you have all the Democrats, all the liberals, tell me I'm wrong, prove me wrong, say, oh no, we got to give welfare. We got to give welfare. Well, there's ways to do this where you can weed people off into situations, trying to create jobs, trying to create opportunities for them to go out, but people don't want jobs that can help them. People don't, more people don't want these hard jobs to help themselves out. I've said it before. I'm not going to rip people. You do what you can do. Roofing's a hard work. My uncle became a multimillionaire without a college degree, busting his ass on roofs every day. And guess what? He eventually one day became an owner, and he could not have, he couldn't find people to do the job. He said, we could be making 2 to 3 times the money and helping people quicker with their jobs, but nobody wants to make $80,000 a year, have a vested interest in the company, and also have the best benefits that they could ever possibly imagine. You can't find people to do it. They want easy things, which gets back to the immigration illegals. I think in some senses, yes, where people grow up, it can be poor. And yes, you've seen stories about America being this great place, but don't think for a second that illegals haven't heard the story of, hey, you get all this stuff free.
Oh, well, they're here. They are getting it through internet now. So people can just have their phone in foreign countries. And even Joe Biden was part of that, sending out a message, and it went through the drug cartels. It goes through young men, families. They see that they're getting paid to come here as well. They get free phones, free housing, all of that. So of course that's why they're coming.
Who was
like Jessica said, they have Obama phones.
Yeah, exactly. Jessica adds, the welfare system was an absolute intention. People relying on the system are far easier to control. We know that. And then
right.
Donna adds, the welfare system is why so many people are not getting married. I didn't know that.
That is true. So many, people live together who may ordinarily want to be married, but if the single lady and the man, and sometimes men get it too, they don't get married on purpose to collect money from the government and get food stamps and also get WIC for their baby.
Kevin says, just wait until they start offering people $2,000 a month in exchange for being chipped. Fed now money. I hadn't heard that yet. That's why we enjoy you guys being a part of the show. You may hear things that we don't. That's why we are a product of the greater sum of people who jump in. It gives us an idea to start looking into certain things that we can bring to you. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Robert replying to Chris Steiner, absolutely. Non-citizens who marry Japanese citizens, even with kids, can't leave Japan because they would not be let back in.
That is a true story. One of my neighbors, her son married a Japanese woman, moved there, and he took her name because it was shunned upon. If he didn't, he can't come back home and see his parents because they can go see him as a tourist and come back. But if he leaves, they will not let him come back in. So they basically lost their son because they can't fly over to Japan every other day.
Yeah, but you know what? They're protecting their own.
I'm not saying they're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
there's
they're wrong
honor.
at all.
I mean, there's honor.
Yes.
And there's hardcore rules and law when it comes to a lot of the Asian cultures. There are. It is.
Correct.
Discipline.
Discipline. And we don't have any of that this day. You just said the word discipline. That's the problem. Our kids, unless you teach it as a parent, are not being taught discipline.
No, it's parents. That's 100% parents.
Yes.
100% of the time.
I agree.
And there's so many issues. It all starts at home. I mean, that's a whole nother raising kids issue. And
yes,
we
could do a whole podcast.
It's more difficult to raise kids now than it ever has been. It requires more of the parents, and we can't say anybody else is doing something to our kids. It has to be us.
Correct.
Us at home, and that's coming from a father of 3 and somebody who had their kids full time for just about 3 years as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's no excuse. You as a parent have to take over, and you can't be your kid's best friend.
No,
but.
And communication, you got to talk to your kids. Talk.
Constantly.
Yes.
And let them know that they feel loved. The immigration is not going to stop. It's not stopping right now. It should, and it has a lot of effect to do with our economy. Our economy is number one. It's always got to be number one. Number 2 issue has to be immigration. It has to be. It has to be right now over anything else. You have to stop what's happening because it may not be affecting you now, but it is happening. It is coming. It is a terrible issue. And there is a sentiment of people out there, though, in this country that say, well, we're not going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to be around. Well, you may not be.
But your babies are.
But you've enjoyed this country.
Yes. I've heard that both from my father-in-law, who I love, and my mom, both recently, just in the last month, said when my husband and I try to bring this up and how we're raising our kids, they both are like, yeah, but we're in our 80s. We don't care about that anymore. And I'm like, you don't care about your kids and then your great grandkids? And they don't. A lot of old people are like, yeah, I already did my thing. You do your thing. And I don't want to be like that. We have to teach. I understand that thought. I do. But my goodness, I still will care about my kids till I'm 6 feet in the ground.
Yeah. Well, we've already kicked the can down the road when it comes to all the payments that everybody received, the free payments. Everybody likes to forget about those payments that we got about 1.5 years or 2 years ago. That was put on our future generation. That wasn't us. Everybody forgets about it because there's a million things going on right now.
Absolutely.
But it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Jody says, glad my 3 kids are grown, good people that work and have common sense.
Good parenting there, then, I'm sure.
Can we conservatives pick up and reverse illegals to, what was that? Oh, it just popped out of my site.
Well, I'm hoping what the question was, I think what they were saying is, can we conservatives, or if we get conservatives back in office, can we round up the illegals, put them back on the buses they came in, and send them back?
Well, that's what Trump says he'll do.
Yeah.
He says it'll be the biggest sweep this country's ever seen.
Of course we could do it.
It sounds great. I don't even know how the hell he would even start that. That would be Trump-tastic. That would be Trumpian,
yes,
so to speak. But because number one, you have to have money. Number two, you have to create an entire force to do it. Money that I don't even know if we have.
Well, we do have it. Well, maybe we don't anymore because they sent it all over to Ukraine by the trillions.
By the way, $6.2 billion of military funding has gone missing in Ukraine. Just wanted to let everybody know that. Not to get into that whole subject, but once again, if you're a bleeding heart Ukraine, I don't care if Nikki Haley is saying only 3% of our budget goes to Ukraine when there aren't checks and balances. And money is just going wherever it goes around the country, military equipments. Yeah, you've got to stop it. Sorry to mean to interrupt you, Lizzie.
No,
that's been on my mind too.
No, you're right. You're right. That's exactly what's happening. We won't go down the Ukraine route, but if we stop giving money to other countries and fix our own, we've got to do that. But
they're going to hurry up and replace the money. I guarantee it.
You think so?
Oh, sure. Oh, they need the money, so we got to give it to them.
Right. There you go.
It's not missing. Zelensky's wife went shopping.
Oh, I'm sure.
No, I get it.
He got it himself. He himself bought himself some high heels and he got a manicure.
He might have. One of the funniest memes I've seen recently, because if anybody's on social media, there's always somebody there promoting a way to get rich quick scheme, marketing. Hey, I'll teach you how to make $1 million sitting from your computer. There's one with Zelensky. Hey, I'll teach you how to make $1 billion really fast from your computer. Yeah, we get it. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo. Check out our website, cancelthisshow.com. We have new merchandise on there. If you have a chance to pop it up, that would be very cool. You can go to cancelthisshow.com. Not only can you check out our advertising partners on our page. And of course, we're always looking for advertising partners to continue what we're doing, grow and expand and do what we want to do, 24/7 a day programming for an actual network. We also have our merchandise shop there. You see hats, you see shirts, you see cups. Not only do you get really top-notch merchandise from Inside Out, which is Derek Pratt's company, you also help support us as well in the process of helping us continue to go. A lot of really cool things there. Where are the ponytail hats? Are those on the website yet?
He said he put them on there.
Allegedly, these are like super
there it is.
popular.
There's one right there.
You love these?
I do. A lot of women do. It's got a special place for the ponytail, but also the distressed look. And we have 3 different hats.
Those are cool.
Aren't they neat? And then the front have the distressed hat, that a lot of trucker hats. So it's like a combo. Some people still call those the trucker hats. The difference between is there's like a little purposeful ponytail thing back there, and we have the distressed look that a lot of us gals like.
Yeah, very cool. We got a lot of merchandise there. Check it out. We appreciate it. You can also check out whatever platforms you're viewing platforms live for the show Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. And then, of course, we have all of the shows get saved on those same platforms that you watch live, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Clout Hub, Twitch, Twitter, and then, of course, the audio platforms as well, as we have Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart. We're on those sites as well. So we appreciate it. People are already saying they love the hats, of course. You insisted on these, right?
I insisted on them. If you're a female that doesn't want to do their hair their day, or you look cute in a ponytail, you got to have those.
An interesting story. I want to put this forward too. Sophie Starkey said, hey, I needed food stamps for a few years, and I was allotted $5 in food stamps. When I asked what I'm supposed to do with this, she said, if I was you, I'd buy a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. I said it costs more. She said, we have immigrants to take care of too. Really? That's how they take care of the elderly in this country. Thank you for sharing that, Sophie.
That's awful, Sophie. That really is. And if you are a senior citizen and you've put your time in and you have hard time, I see no issues with helping our senior citizens, but I do see issues with helping illegals, and because it's not legal. That's it.
Exactly.
It's not that
Illegal. Yeah, J.D. Pritzker wants to hire them to be police in the state of Illinois, and Chicagoans continue. Hey, by the way, Chicago, if you're listening, because at one point in time, we did have a pretty good chunk of people who were checking out our work, our content, our show, cancelthisshow.com in the Chicago area. You don't have to vote for J.B. Pritzker, okay? You don't have to do it. Okay, just because your mom did or your dad or your grandparents, that doesn't mean you have to, all right? You don't have to.
Stop it.
And if you're illegal and listening to us, you can also vote for President Trump, all right?
Yeah, so you illegals are out there and you're voting. Have a Trump-tastic day.
Have a Trump-tastic day.
Yes.
Michelle's like, don't get me started on Pritzker.
Right.
I know. We get it. Okay. Speaking of Donald Trump, Jody says, I'm 67. If I got food stamps, I get $20 a month. What the hell does that buy? It's bullshit. Yeah,
it really is.
Jody, thank you for
really
sharing. I had no idea what that is. It doesn't buy anything.
No, it doesn't. And that is so disrespectful to our senior citizens. It really is. They've been paying in for years. And that would be the time that we need help. But oh no, we got to pay for, whatever his name is that crossed the border, that is a strapping man to come over here and he's an illegal. Now he's going to be a police officer and he's going to arrest our senior citizens. And that sounds crazy, but don't think that won't happen.
Yeah, the problem is everyone in Illinois' graves are voting for him.
And I don't get that. I know when
election integrity.
When you go over there, you see a lot of Pritzker suck signs. So who in the hell is voting
for this?
It's
Chicago because of the population. It's
the
same.
population.
Hey, Western New York, Northern New York is red.
Mm-hmm.
It's New York City. It's the inner cities again. And where are all the problems? The inner cities. Yet if you say that, oh my God, how dare you say that? You're racist because that's where most of the African-American community. What? No, it's what? Stop it. Just stop.
Stop the race thing. Stop it.
They're liberal cities. They're liberal cities for a reason. They've been losing liberal cities for a reason. And I'm sorry, we have to call it out. You feel more comfortable saying that than I do. I feel uncomfortable saying it. Maybe it's because of the background that I've had, but I'm telling you, it is what it is. There's a reason.
I'll call it right out. I will call it right out because I am the first person that fought for fair rights for every color. Now it's going in reverse and now they're coming after the white people. I'm sick of it. I don't like it either way. I don't like racism at all. And so now I will call it out. There are things that Black people can do that white people cannot get by with. And this isn't because I'm racist. This is because white people will sit back and go, oh, if I say anything, I'm going to be called a racist.
And that's the same thing with immigration. That's why it ties in.
Yes, absolutely. The same thing with immigration. People are too afraid.
You can't say they're illegal aliens. You have to say they're migrants. I'll never forget. It was about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was still in St. Louis doing news, and they're like, no, you can't say illegal aliens. I'm like, why? Why? Don't question, Vic. Just be happy you're getting a check. Don't say illegal aliens. Now we're PC and we say illegal migrants. No, you're an illegal alien.
Yeah, you are an alien. You do not belong here other than maybe a tourist. So you are an illegal alien. You are. It's illegal. It's against the law. And so many people have lost the fact that you need a passport to leave America, to even go on a vacation if you want to go to Europe or Asia or wherever, or Mexico. But they can just walk across our border. If we walk across into Mexico, we're going to get arrested and thrown in one of their Mexican jails. But let's just open the door and come on over here.
Hey, by the way, before we get into Donald Trump, and stick around for this, guys, and promote it and let people know. If you haven't heard Donald Trump talking about these alleged upcoming trials, what he thinks is going to happen, and he's going to testify. But there's another caveat to this whole situation. Do we have the video yet, Joe, when it comes to promoting who we have onto the show tomorrow, when it comes to the whole situation and the tragedy conspiracy theory of Maui?
I haven't received anything in the email.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I must have looked at he was supposed to get something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was supposed to have it by 9:30.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to that in a second. It'll just have to be shown a little bit later. Okay. Donald Trump came out yesterday and he was doing an interview with Hugh Hewitt, and he addressed the entire situation with these fake indictments, all election interference to try and stop him. Here's what he had to say regarding whether he will testify in these indictment trials or not.
Commonly diagnosed cancer.
Of course, they have to put a sponsorship there.
Oh, you can't fast forward through that?
Cancer worldwide.
Oh, I don't, you keep it quiet until we get to there, and I'll just continue to set that up. Yes, Jill says, I have a video about the fire stuff in Maui if you want it. Sure, send it to us. We recorded a 40-minute interview with an expert on Maui who has connections inside Hawaii, grew up there, family there, that you will not want to miss tomorrow regarding all of the things that have happened, the things that are continuing to happen that are just absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
Now, this is sound, Joe. It's just sound. You won't see a picture. It is sound on the video, just to make sure that you understood what was going on there. So we're going to get to the whole situation regarding Maui, and we'll have a preview video a teaser before we leave the show today. But tomorrow morning, we're going to play that pretty quick, about 8:15, just so that we have
to go to trial. Will you testify in your own defense?
Oh yes, absolutely.
You'll take the stand.
That I look forward to, because that's just like Russia. That's all the fake information from Russia. Remember when the dossier came out and everyone said, "Oh, that's so terrible, and then it turned out to be it was a political report put out by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. They paid millions for it. They gave it to Christopher Steele. They paid millions and millions of dollars for it, and it was all fake.
No, I think that obstruction charge is going to get the trial, Mr. President. I think that.
I'll testify.
Okay, if you do, and they ask you on the stand, did you order anyone to move boxes? How will you answer?
I'm not answering that question for you, but I'm totally covered under the law.
Okay.
If you read the Presidential Records Act, just read it. You take a look at it. I'm totally covered under the law.
Remind me, who was he talking to?
This is Hugh Hewitt.
Hewitt. Okay.
And here's, out of everything that he said, that he says he doesn't think these are even going to trial.
He doesn't. Donald Trump does not think this is going to go to trial. And he's typically right. I hope he's right. And I don't know what I think about him going on the stand either. I think what he's going to say, because people don't like mean tweets.
I would trust him on the stand.
You would? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, good. I believe what he's going to say. It's just, I think they're just going to try to crucify him.
Well, of course, they've been trying to do that since he won the election.
Good point.
Actually, since he declared that he was running for president.
Yeah.
Before he ran his campaign in the primaries. I mean, they tried to crucify him at that first debate. When he was against everybody. Yeah, of course, that's going to continue to come. I would trust him in a heartbeat. I do not find any evidence to be damning, to be guilty.
Oh, no, that I agree with, for sure.
Especially for a president who is running for office, election interference in its biggest state. I was so happy to hear him say, number one, he doesn't even think these are going to trial.
Yeah, that's great.
And number two, he would testify and get on the stand.
Well, and I do trust him.
And Hugh Hewitt knows better than to ask him.
Yeah, he's not going to give that
Hugh's
answer.
A pro.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how are you going to answer? Oh, I'm going to give you my whole defense right now.
Right.
Come on, Hugh.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Good point.
I don't know if this moves the needle for anybody regarding the situation with Donald Trump, but as we have also told you since the inception of the show, today being 200th episode, it's not going to stop. And if they could find a fifth or a sixth indictment somehow, somewhere, they would do that. You go to a liberal city, you know how it works with the jury. There really doesn't have to be a lot of proof there. You can indict, as they always say, the ham sandwich. Chris says, by the way, guys, Hugh is and was a never Trumper. In that interview, he was constantly trying to get Trump in a gotcha moment. And that's why you can't trust local media anymore when it comes to politics, because they're always trying to gotcha. By the way, if you don't know, sometimes you only see like maybe one answer of like the same question asked like 20 times.
Right.
And it's like, okay, give me a break. And Hugh wants ratings too. That's what Aaron said. But Hugh's got to be better than that. He also tried to push him to say he would punish those that went against him. I credit Donald Trump for going on airwaves and trying to do interviews with people that are not like, oh, we love you, Trump, because he's not afraid. And when you're speaking truth and you're speaking direct, you're not afraid of being, quote, caught. Gotcha. But there are several media people who will try to do that to him, which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. It really is.
This is a story. It's here. J.M. Grigsby says this, and I find this interesting. I'm just going to veer just a little bit. I was listening to 550. That's in the St. Louis area, 550 a.m. McGraw and Kelly Jackson were on there ridiculing the Proud Boys on their J6 actions. A gentleman who was accused of leading activities that day was just sentenced to 22 years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't rape anybody, didn't molest anybody, didn't kill anybody, didn't shoot anybody. And those people that are doing that are getting less sentences than his alleged activity. Alleged. These people on 550 in the St. Louis area said, if anyone believes the elections were rigged, that you're not normal. Well, if you don't believe in that, then fine. You don't have to listen to McGraw or Kelly Jackson. Who are they?
Right.
I mean, who are they? And this person says that they went on and on about how it's a big lie. JM says, I've seen videos and I also watched 2,000 Mules and am convinced there was. Okay, that's fine.
Absolutely.
You don't have to listen to 550 a.m.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, or I heard that their ratings were falling seriously, like an anchor in water, but you don't have to listen to them.
But it's a
and
good
I haven't
point.
heard it.
Right. It's a good point.
And they're
that JM
entitled
is
to their
making.
opinion.
Yes, they are entitled to their opinion, but their opinion is wrong. That is their opinion. But the facts show that there was voter fraud. And in my opinion, those people that went there on J6 had every right to be there. If they didn't break a window, and if they didn't hit a police officer, which that didn't happen in most cases, we're finding out it's the agitators that did that. It is part of the feds who did that. You have a right to go to our nation's capital and give your opinion and try to, get Mike Pence to do the right thing. And that's not what happened. And that should scare every single person in this country that the Proud Boy leader is going to prison, never being able to see his kids ever, possibly ever again, if he would die in prison. And yet rapists, murderers, car thieves get nothing often, or very little, or they definitely get less than this Proud Boy. And that tells you everything that you need to know about what happened to 550 and radio stations like that across the world. They're corporate owned. Most of them own very many stations. They're giving a list of what they can and cannot
There's
say.
a reason why their ratings are going lower.
Correct. They're not speaking the truth.
You got to be willing to cover all sides of the story. You do. And we are here. We'll do it. You just can't be a horrible, hate-filled, wanting people to die, asking people to be dead, or encouraging people to die.
Yes.
And stay on our show. That's it. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it goes. So I don't, whatever they're saying, they can say. It is what it is. The Trump situation continues to be one where I'm glad that he's not afraid to do interviews with people like this.
Correct.
You just don't find candidates who are like this. Political teams, consultants, their whole teams will say, well, you shouldn't go talk. Don't talk. You're already leading. Don't bring up all you're going to do is give people a chance to tear you down, catch you in a gotcha. Let's play this safe. I'm telling you, some of the most popular politicians in our country right now are intentionally not doing interviews because their teams, their consultants are telling them, don't talk, don't do this. Just, hey, let's ride it out. You keep the ratings just so we can get you into office. We win and we all make money.
Yeah. Well, and
it's what happens. It is. I know the behind the scenes deal because
you do.
I deal with them. Or have dealt with them.
Yep.
Okay. It is what it is. We'll see. CNN has a huge ratings during Trump's town hall. Yeah. And not because of it. And that's why you're going to continue to see the likes of CNN, MSNBC, whatever else, try to focus on Trump so they can try to get ratings and do whatever they can, because they don't have ratings unless they have Trump. It's pretty obvious, and that's what we have continued to see over and over and over and over and over again. Something else happened yesterday. Busy news day. Okay. The Hunter Biden situation continues to be a thorn in the side for President Joe Biden and his administration. By the end of the month now, you're going to see an indictment on a federal gun charge go against Hunter Biden. It should have happened the first time. It didn't, because David Weiss is unqualified for the position. But then, of course, that's why he was chosen by Attorney General Merrick Garland. If you don't think this stuff happens on purpose, think again. I just hope that Americans are intelligent enough to realize there's a reason why certain people are selected for cases. He's an idiot. Not only is David Weiss dirty, he's an idiot. He doesn't even show that he can even handle a case like this. Thank God for Judge Noriega in the case, because she's the one who didn't intentionally try to blow it up. She asked a simple question and they got caught. So now they had to go back in. She refused to accept his plea deal. Now, before he wasn't going to be indicted, now he's going to be indicted on a federal gun charge. Is it what he should be getting? Yes. Should there be more? 100%. But he's evaded millions of dollars of taxes. There's growing evidence. Of course, him and the Bidens have violated several criminal laws and a long-running corruption scheme in that White House, unlike what we've ever seen. Weiss also tried to settle Hunter's case on 2 misdemeanor tax charges against a recommendation or against jail time that he would take care of himself. He tried to erase that gun felony, but now he got caught. Do we really think that Weiss has all of a sudden gone right? No, he hasn't. He was forced to do this because he got caught. So now Hunter Biden is going to be charged with a felony gun charge. Does it bring down Joe Biden? No. But Hunter could still, if he keeps his, I don't know, nose clean.
Nose clean, bump.
He would avoid jail time. I know this isn't what people who get very irked by Hunter Biden wants, but it's a felony charge for his gun situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Weiss is already, he's made a fool of himself.
He has made a fool
and anybody that cares to get involved in the case and read it could see. I mean, Judge Noriega gave Hunter a September 6th deadline to inform her of the status of the case. That's what Weiss had to do. And that's why he said that he's going to, quote, indict Hunter by the end of the month. He had his feet, pretty much held to the fire in the whole situation.
Well, and he should do some prison time, but he's not going to.
No, he's not. He's not. But
basically people for jaywalking in DC are going to go away for years, but Hunter is going to get a slap on the wrist and maybe a little bit of embarrassment. That's the America we're living in right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he hasn't been indicted yet. It is coming. It's going to be another news story. A felony is a big deal with that.
Well, I'm glad that something is even going to come of it, because I didn't even think anything was going to come of it at all.
But he should have indicted him years ago.
Absolutely.
This is only being forced, so you still can't trust the system, which is unfortunate when it comes to Hunter and everything else that's going on. This, by the way, continues to be a situation that Representative Comer from Kentucky, leader of the House Oversight Committee, says that they're continuing to find smoking guns all over the place. They're continuing to try and get information and being stonewalled by the Biden administration and the DOJ. But they say they're not going to stop. They're going to continue to try. J.M. Grigsby says, guys, by the way, regarding Trump, I was not planning to vote for Trump until his mugshot came out. That's interesting. And I'm glad you shared it, J.M. She says, that did it for me. Really pissed me off.
Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. There's a lot of people that really like DeSantis or maybe even Vivek. But when that mugshot came out, people went, okay, that mugshot is really representative of what they're doing to us. This isn't even about Donald Trump. It's about us. And so now they're like, okay, we need to back him.
Derek says, hey, you guys, you know what? Regarding Hunter, maybe he smoked the crack in a pipe like Obama instead of snorting.
Maybe he did it with Obama.
Maybe he learned from Obama.
Yep. Maybe, what do you think about that? That would really put a bad taste in your mouth.
Michelle said he should be doing prison time. He should be.
He should be. For
a federal gun charge. And trust me, there are several people who've done time for the same charge if found guilty for a felony. Yeah, it should piss you off. It should upset you. Jay says the gun charge is the bottom of the barrel charge. to try to appease the masses with some kind of charge. Yeah, it's true. And also because Weiss got caught by Judge Noriega. And she's not playing side. She's not playing the right. She's not playing left. She's trying to follow rule of law. Great quote. It makes total sense to me. We need to bring God back into our homes, schools, and government, or all this stuff is just going to continue to move on in the United States and all the crap that we're living with right now. Jessica said it means nothing with all the things that are going on. Derek telling James Grigsby, feel free to go to the merch page and buy a mugshot shirt. Of course, we have a Donald Trump mugshot shirt in there as well. But I am glad that somebody actually said, yeah, believe it or not,
yeah,
he's got a situation where, yeah, his mugshot shown. I'm going to vote for him now. We talked about it. We wondered if it would move the needle for anybody.
And it makes sense. People like JM and Mary and other people have really been watching RFK Jr., which would make sense. And they're going to his pages and going to things for him. And they're finding that there were Trump supporters or are Trump supporters there that are still going to vote for Trump. But there's liberals, they're all coming together, but most of them aren't going to vote. And they didn't say this, but my guess is they won't vote for RFK, but RFK people then will vote for Trump. So this is only going to get bigger. So I still would love it. I know that this will never happen, but many people on our chat line have said they would love to see Trump as the president and RFK Jr. as the VP. It's not going to happen. I understand that, but that would be ideal. That would be ideal.
Here's the other thing that's interesting that came out yesterday. This is your comic relief for a Thursday, September 7th podcast of CancelThisShow.com with Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, and Projo. CNN, Fox, shame on you. Fox News running a poll that CNN did. Think about this.
Wow.
I can only imagine being in a production meeting because I have so much experience in this. And hey, what are we going to do in the news today? And what are we going to put on the website? And what are the headlines going to be? Fox, the legend in broadcasting. We already know they lost a lot of their luster.
Yeah.
Fox. Damn you, Fox. You do good, but you do bad.
Oh, damn Fox. What
Fox,
do you mean?
why the hell is Fox running a CNN poll?
Because they're the same thing. They're the same show.
Listen to this. I know most Americans, they don't want to believe. They'll call us conspiracy theory or, do you really believe that? Oh, let's have a drink and like make fun of people who want to bring up situations or information. Fox is running a poll that CNN did. CNN has barely any ratings, yet they're lifting CNN up to them because they want to promote something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we already know Fox does not want Donald Trump. They don't. And they have shown it and it's unfortunate, and I hate to say it, but they don't.
They don't.
It's because Trump has a backbone and he's called out Fox.
Correct.
He'll still do interviews with them. And of course, they'll take Donald Trump on anytime they can get for money.
Mm-hmm. But
But
they don't like
shame
him.
on Fox for running a poll that CNN did. Not even their own poll. They're a bunch of cowards.
Yep.
They ran a poll from CNN that stated that former President Trump, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and other major GOP candidates would be in a dead heat with Biden in the general election. And there's only one person who would beat Joe Biden, and it's Nikki Haley.
And does this
I don't know whether to be upset or laugh at how stupid Fox is.
Yes, but they love
I don't even
Nikki
care
Haley.
if this was a legitimate poll.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Fox has now gone from their golden boy Vivek, from their golden boy Ron DeSantis.
Yes.
Now they're pushing Nikki Haley.
Uh-huh.
And if you have average intelligence when it comes to media, you can see this.
Yeah.
Nikki Haley is now, and then they had Nikki Haley on the Fox Morning Show yesterday. Oh, Nikki, you're so great. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're a great governor. And now Fox, why in the hell is Fox running a poll that CNN did? Mm-hmm. How stupid is that?
Because they are dumb.
The poll found out that Trump enjoyed 47% from respondents compared to Biden's 46%. when it came to Mike Pence result was also within the margin of error, beating out Biden. Well, is that good for Pence, or does that just show you what Biden is?
Both, because Pence will never win.
But Nikki Haley was the only one to escape the margin of error, beating Biden 49% to 43% instead of Trump's 47 to 45.
Right. Yes. And they're right. Troy's right. Laura Ingraham, Gutfeld, and Hannity still kind of push Trump, but really no one else, not even Jesse Waters, is totally behind Trump, because you already said it.
He can't be. Even if he was, he couldn't be.
Yeah, I don't think he could be either, because it's not that he hates Trump. He's now in Tucker's
I'm glad Laura Ingraham is, and I'm glad Gutfeld is, but the network is not.
Correct.
The network is not. And when they run bullshit polls from CNN, I mean, they're a bottom feeder in news.
Correct.
They're a nobody, a nothing burger, and you're going to bring them up?
Yeah.
Who's running Fox?
Yes. And Jeannie's right. JM is right. Haley is getting the suburban soccer mom support. She is, but you know why?
I know why.
Why? You tell me why.
Well, the first part, Fox tried to do this yesterday. They said, you're very big with suburban soccer moms. She's doing events with the Moms of Liberty.
Correct. And it is the soccer moms. And it's also our children, millennials and lower, because she's the only woman and she's speaking like she's kind of feminist. And I can say that. I know, Vic, you and I have talked about this on our show. Some of my daughters, are like, oh, well, what about Nikki Haley? She's a female. She's this. That's why the soccer moms, they don't understand the politics. I'm sorry. If they understood politics and how warmongering she is, they wouldn't vote for her. Now, I'm not making fun of them. I'd rather have Nikki Haley than Biden. That being said, nothing will get fixed under her.
And you don't have to like Trump. The whole reason we brought this up is
correct.
CNN.
You don't have to.
It's Fox bringing up a CNN poll.
Right. Right. It is. That is bizarre.
Oh, my God. Of course, as Mary said, any Republican is better than what we currently
I agree,
have
Mary.
right now.
I agree, because there is some, I am a person that does even like Ron DeSantis still. I'm not a Nikki fan just because of her stance. She's just a warmonger. But any Republican, any Republican is better than, I know that once they get up to the big game, they become...
Nikki's got an issue. She's all about this Ukraine support, and she has been nowhere talking about credibility when it comes to all the money that's been lost and unaccounted for going to Ukraine.
Yes.
When that happens, if you support Ukraine, you should be the first person out in front. Listen, we effed up. We effed up.
Yes.
We don't know where the money is, but she's not. She runs and hides. You can't trust Nikki Haley.
You cannot trust her. And she says everything right except for about Ukraine. You're exactly right. Most of our listeners know that too. BS.
Hey guys, we appreciate you joining us for the show today. Been an awesome show, nonstop. Fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Tomorrow's our 200th show. You won't want to miss this.
Well, today was our 200th show.
It's our 200th party.
Yes.
Today was my 100th show.
Woo!
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Damn, it goes fast.
Yeah.
All of it's fast. Tomorrow we have Kelly Mano in studio. Eric Johnson in studio. We have Chris Burke. If you haven't checked him out, check him out on Instagram as well. He's an expert on this whole Maui stuff. Just wait till you get the breakdown, the timeline of what's happened to these people, what's continuing to happen, what Chris says is going to happen. Some of the, quote, conspiracy theories that you hear evidence of being true. We'll do that at about, we'll start that at about 8:15, 8:20 Central Time. And right before that, we have we'll set the stage for the show. We also have an advertiser in, Vehicle Protection Group, Todd at VPC Network. We got a lot to get to tomorrow. And at some point, I don't know, but maybe we try to celebrate in the 9 o'clock hour. We got to figure this out.
Oh, it's going to be a party in the second hour.
There's a lot.
We're going to be Mauiing it first hour. And yes, in the second hour.
That sounds like work.
Well,
who's putting the party together?
Well, just the fact that Kelly and Eric are here with us becomes a party.
Party.
Okay, guys. 201 episodes. Tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us again today. For Projo and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Remember to go to canceltheshow.com. Check out all Please, all of our content, if you haven't seen a show, check it out. Like, subscribe, share the show. You can send us stars on Facebook. We appreciate that. Check out our merchandise site. Of course, you can order from the merchandise site. And if you have ideas for business partners for us or possible advertisers, local or national, let us know. We're doing some good for the companies as well.
I have the video now.
Play it.
It's 9:56. Okay.
Play it. Play it.
Okay.
Play the video.
Well,
Play the video.
Alex, you got to get those to us quicker,
Play
man.
the video. Okay, so did you notice we stopped the music?
Okay, here's the video for tomorrow, a preview of the interview. I think. Tell us why you got into this and how you have become pretty much one of the biggest experts on what we said here on Cancel This was some sort of cover-up. Nothing made sense with this Maui situation from the very first day we reported on it and we said it on this show. Stay tuned. Something weird is going on.
mauicounty.gov and you go to the document center, you can pull up all these PDF files. There's probably 20 PDF files. This is public source. Now, what they did is that they were testing chemicals in the water and they pulled water a day before the fire happened and they repurposed the water. And then when it went, so the water was shut off. And then when it got sent back in, the gentleman that I just dropped the podcast yesterday with, his name is Kepa. He said when the water got turned back on and got sent back into his home, it was white and milky. And people were saying that the water was toxic. So why would you repurpose the water 12 hours before this so-called fire is going to happen?
And we'll have more on that tomorrow. Thanks for watching canceltheshow.com.